Hello everyone. Okay, so it's been a while. I have a lot to update you on. For starters, the everything is good with the house. The appraisal was good. The inspection is good. My close date is technically March 31, but there's a chance it could be closed early, so I'll be moving soon, which is why you haven't really seen a lot of me because I've been really busy with like life things. The house is sort of consuming my brain, and most of the rest of my brain is consumed by the political shit show that is occurring in America right now, which I won't really go into, except to say that if you are an American, to pay extra special attention to who's running for president this year, do your research and don't follow the hype train blindly. Okay? Be an informed voter, it's important, and this is a very scary election in terms of who the available candidates are, so pay attention. Okay, that said, I know I already said that I was voting for Bernie Sanders. You know this. You're allowed to vote for whoever you want to. Just be smart about it, is all I'm going to say. Okay, so moving on to other things. My book is actually doing pretty well, I would think, considering I published it at like the ass end of February. Um, so I don't really want to tell anybody like how many books that I've sold, um, because my fear is that Frankie and I will run into a comparison contest, and I don't want that to be what it's about because I know that if I were lagging behind her in sales, I would be super sad, and I don't want to know. I will tell you that um, I sold more than I thought would. I haven't sold a ton, um, but I'm optimistic. So here's what's happening now. I'm trying to ramp up my marketing skills, and Pronoun actually just emailed me new headers for Twitter and Facebook, which you'll probably see if you came here to watch this video, because my guess is you probably got the notification on Twitter or Facebook, and you went to my Twitter or my Facebook. Hang on one second, set my coffee down. Um, it's not a bad header. I would say that it's a little bit boring, which is what I told them in their feedback. I said it's a little bit plain, but it's clean, and therefore I'm using it. So I thought that was neat, and they still don't have their author pages available yet, but all in all, I really like Pronoun. The interface is very easy to use. I haven't had any problems with it. Of course, I haven't gotten paid yet, so we'll see that, because usually you get paid quarterly on these things. My print copy, which I showed you in my last video, is quite popular, so I recommend having a print copy if you are going to self-publish, if you can, and I do recommend Blurb, because like I told you in the last video, I'm able to not charge as much as I would have to through CreateSpace, which is good. The other thing is that I can buy them for myself at wholesale, so it's like, it costs me $6.13 to purchase my own copy of my book, and it's $5.99 for shipping, which is bullshit. So if you have your friend buy it from you, and they have to pay shipping, it sucks. But if you can buy yourself a small cache of copies to keep on hand, like last time I bought 5 copies, and with 5 copies, with the first one costing $5.99 shipping, and then it's like $2 or somewhere in that range for each additional copy. For me to buy 5 copies and have them shipped to me cost me about $40. So all said and done, each book costs me $8.92, and I'm selling them out of my hands at $15. So I make more profit that way, and they still pay the same price, and I can sign it. So I did buy a handful of copies to do that way, and I have one for my mom. So that's one of the ways that I'm marketing, is now I have books with me, and I'm like, look, isn't it beautiful? And then they can decide if they want it or not. Another thing that I did, and I just started it, I went on this site called Book Daily, and Book Daily will send out the first chapter of a random book in the genre that you choose for your own profile. So like if I were a Book Daily member and I was like, I really like sci-fi and fantasy, then every day they send me the first chapter of like a randomized novel in their inventory, and if I like it, I go buy it. So I added my book to that inventory. I just did it today. I don't know if it's working. It probably won't. Of course, if you pay them a little bit of money, they ensure that it goes to 50,000 people. And it's only $50 to do that. So someday I might do that, because honestly, to reach 50,000 people for $50 is probably not a bad deal. I might look into some reviews before I go ahead and do it. But since I'm not doing it today, it doesn't really matter. I'm hoping it works. I did look into using BookBub, which is a very popular service where you get free or cheap emails, free or cheap ebooks, like a list of them sent to your email every day, much the same way as Book Daily. But to advertise on BookBub, to add your book to one of those little emails, is something like $600. I'm not willing to front that right now, because I haven't generated that much money from my books, and I'm not willing to invest that much. I'm cheap. Deal with it. What I did do, though, I had this fabulous idea that I told Frankie because I was really excited about it, and she said she'd already thought about it. I made this cute little business card. Isn't it adorable? And I put an even smaller blurb on the back and ashes. So now I have these in this cute little case that I can carry around with me. And now if I want to talk to somebody about my book, I can now leave them with one of these cards, which means that they won't forget the title of my book. And they won't be able to forget about it because it's in their hand and it's a physical thing. Also, it looks pretty sweet. I'm pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with this. All of these, when I was done ordering for the case, which was like $8, which is actually kind of a lot of money for a tiny little case, and the business card, and it cost more because I put it back on it, but that's not a big deal. After all that, it was going to be like $35, and as I was checking out, it gave me an option to be like, hey, do you want to double your order for $3? And I was like, yes. So I now have 500 of these bastards for like $40 with this cute little carrying case. So I have like cheap advertising forever. And another one of the things I thought I might be able to do is I could tack them up to bulletin boards. I can drop them on cafe tables and just leave them there. So these are very versatile and nice. But basically the main thing is if I'm talking to somebody about my book, now I can be like, here's my card, and then they can just take it with them. Didn't cost very much. Hoping it works. Haven't tried it yet. But there's that. So there's me for advertising. I did manage to net a couple of reviews, and my friends who have bought print copies have been posting pictures on Facebook. It's pretty cool. So now reflecting back on me trying to get into the traditional publishing scene and now being a self-published author, here are my thoughts. It's not worth it to be a traditionally published author. It might have been cool to have an agent, and it would be cool to see my book on a shelf. But speaking of that, here's another thing. My boss's wife is actually a software person, IT help desk for a software called Anthology, which is a book inventory POS system, basically, and point of sale. And she also she works with a lot of clients who are independent bookstore people. And so when I publish my book through Blurb, the print copy, they can order it and put it on their shelves if they wanted to. So, I mean, technically, I guess it could show up on a bookshelf. I guess I wouldn't know that unless they bought like 1 billion copies of my book randomly. So that's kind of cool. If my book gets pretty popular and people like it, then maybe it will end up in a bookstore someday. So all of the things that I might have wanted being a traditional author, kind of have them already. So I'm not really that worried about it. Also, no one is currently hounding me for deadlines. But to put it plainly, I have an ebook and it's selling. I mean, not fast, but it's selling. And I have a print copy and people like it because it is pretty nice. And I could be in a bookstore. So generally, I'm pretty happy. That book is done. It's going to make money forever. And I'm on to the next one. So, update there. I was writing a story about a girl with a dreamland sort of concept, and there's a girl that's stuck in the dream that she's certain is her sister. And I started writing it right around Nano last year, and it's about 40,000 words done. But I got stuck because I didn't like where it was going. I sat down the other day and reconfigured it and have sort of mapped out probably like 17 chapters of it. And I've been thinking about it a lot, and I think that's the story that I'm going to do next. So I've started on it. And to remind you, I also have a Shiny for Trick is ready to publish. Achillea is waiting for Stella, who hasn't been online in 2 months, and that collection of short stories that I talked about on camera a while back. So yeah, everything's good. And I guess I'm done here. So I'm going to stop the video, and if you have any comments, please feel free to jet them below. Email me if you'd like any questions. Always fun. We very much welcome feedback and comments. It's really fun to actually connect with the people that follow us. So looking forward to hearing from you.